017 hours, Red Pine Forest, Western Slope. The call came in as static first. Then coordinates. Riven adjusted the comm link in his ear, squinting into the darkness at the edge of the tree line. The smell of scorched bark and ozone hadn't faded since the first round of blasts rocked Red Pine hours ago. The forest still trembled beneath the aftermath, branches hanging like broken limbs. Charcoal leaves drifted like blackened snow. At least a dozen warheads, maybe more, enough to split the hillside and send an avalanche of dirt, rock, and shattered trees crashing down. No firefight. No lingering threat. The drones came in fast, hit hard, and vanished just as quickly, like they never meant to take territory. Just wreck it. Didn't make sense. If this was a prelude to war, the strike should have come from the east. That's where the border tensions were, where the news kept flashing headlines about foreign escalation. But this was West Sector. Northwest even. Supposedly neutral, supposedly safe. What the hell kind of warning shot hits a civilian force reserve? Riven had barely dragged the man out before the slope gave way. He was still brushing ash off his sleeves.
Unit Echo 7.
The voice crackled through.
You are to reroute to Sector Delta 12. Civilian distress beacon activated. 1 ping, solo signal.
Copy.
Said Sergeant Sarah Kane, crisp and already irritated.
Command, we're pulling wounded from Bravo 2. You want us to abandon that now?
Negative, but Alpha Team is covering Bravo. Reroute to Delta now.
Kane clicked her tongue and turned, her silver tactical visor reflecting the flickering emergency lights around camp.
You hear that, boys? We've been demoted to lost hiker duty. We're moving light, no full resupply. Grab what you've got. We're out.
Riven shouldered his gear and said nothing.
Bet it's a kid,
said Sav Turgan, the unit's mountain of a demolitions expert.
or someone who thought they were getting in touch with nature.
He flexed air quotes as he adjusted his rucksack.
Aren't you technically one with nature?
Drawled Evan Kell, the sniper, nodding at Turgan's arm, which still bore bark pattern camo from his last customization spree.
Please.
Kane muttered, already moving.
Less poetry, more marching.
Riven lingered a moment longer, glancing down at the map projected on his forearm screen. Delta 12, base of the western ridge, flattened by the blast. If she was still alive, she'd be higher. Past the slope, near the stream bed marked northeast. He rolled his shoulders and followed. 0:33 hours. Red Pine Forest, North Sector. The forest was quieter now. Too quiet. No wind, no night birds. Just the crunch of boots over scorched pine needles and the slow, low whine of cooling earth where fire hadn't quite finished its work. The terrain wasn't doing Riven any favors. Mud-slick roots, uneven footing, but adrenaline took the edge off. They could make it in 30. Just had to keep moving. His night visor hummed softly as it mapped out the ruins in phosphor green, the signal from the beacon pulsing like a heartbeat in the corner of his view.
Signal steadier,
Kane said over her shoulder. Her voice was flat, controlled.
Close now. Maybe a click less if she's moved downhill.
She didn't have to raise her voice. Barely over 5 feet, Kane didn't command attention with size. She moved like a blade, precise, lethal, and unapologetic. Her cybernetics were subtle, but Riven had seen them in action. Minimal tech, maximum effect. Classic Kane. Cal sidled up beside him, just barely brushing his shoulder, a move Riven knew too well by now. Sure enough, Cal's voice came through the comms, low and private.
Rumor is she applied for the big stuff.
Figures he already toggled the channel.
Riven didn't look over.
Big stuff.
Full body augmentation. Not plugins. Combat grade.
Behind them, Turgan snorted.
She's already half machine on the inside.
Yeah, but imagine her actually looking the part.
Cal said.
All optical arrays and synth bone and cold.
Riven kept walking.
She's already colder than my ex.
Your ex was a training drone.
Kel reminded him.
Exactly.
Turgan chuckled. Ahead of them, Kane stopped.
Focus, clowns.
Kel's smirk vanished on command. Turgan didn't bother hiding his. They paused at the edge of a stream bed, the moonlight reflecting faintly off cooling runoff. Beside it, curled against a warped tree root and half covered in debris, a figure shifted. Riven's eyes swept the area, reflex. Debris scatter, burn radius. No sign of secondary movement, no trap, no ambush. Just one signal, just bad luck. Up ahead, the earth had collapsed into a mess of broken trees and scorched underbrush. Bits of gear poked through the wreckage. Metal poles, a water bottle half melted from heat. Fairy lights tangled in the branches like crushed stars. Someone had made camp at the bottom of a slope. He shook his head. Rookie mistake. Kane motioned forward silently. Turgan veered left. Kel took over watch from the ridge. Riven stepped closer and retracted his visor with a hiss, letting cold moonlight fall across his face. He squinted at the figure ahead. Couldn't quite tell if it was a young woman or a slight male. They were curled in on themselves, short pale hair sticking out in every direction, dusted with soot and soil. Their shoulders hitched with quiet, ragged sobs. He raised 2 fingers in signal, approaching. Kel nodded from above. Turgan shifted his stance, but stayed put. Kane didn't look. She didn't need to. Riven crouched low, hands raised, palms open.
Hey, we're here to help.
The figure jerked upright with a startled yelp and scrambled back, snatching up a stick and swinging it wildly at his head.
Whoa.
He ducked.
Easy, easy. I'm not gonna hurt.
Then he saw her clearly. A young woman. Blood streaked from her temple. Her arms scraped raw. Dirt and soot clung to her clothes. Her face was smeared with tears, blood, and grime. She couldn't have been much older than him. She swung again. This time it hit, glancing off his shoulder. Not hard enough to damage anything except his dignity.
Back off.
Her voice cracked.
Don't touch me.
Riven stepped back, hands still up. She was terrified, injured, and barely coherent. Kane stepped in from behind, composed and unhurried, like she hadn't just watched her teammate get whacked with a tree branch.
That's enough.
She said gently, crouching low near the girl, but not too close. Her voice was calm, low, the kind that made people listen without realizing they were.
You're safe now.
Her eyes locked on, cool and steady.
I'm Sergeant Sarah Kane. We're a recon unit responding to your distress beacon. You're Alice Calder, right?
The girl, Alice, froze at the sound of her name. She blinked rapidly, chest still heaving.
Are you alone?
Kane asked.
Was anyone else with you?
Alice didn't answer right away, as if deciding these strangers could be trusted. Then she shook her head slowly.
You're not hurt badly.
Kane continued, already speaking over the moment.
You've been lucky, but this zone's unstable. We need to move. Understand?
Alice sniffled, nodded.
Silas,
Kane said over her shoulder.
check her wounds before we haul out.
On it.
Riven muttered, already taking off his rucksack. He crouched in front of Alice and flipped it open with one hand. Supplies were running light, but he still had enough antiseptic spray, sealant gel, and wrap to deal with one patient. Good thing they'd only found one.
This might sting,
He said, glancing up at her.
but you'll live.
Alice gave a shaky nod, biting her lip. Her gaze caught on the name stitched across his uniform. Silas. She'd glimpsed the flash of amber in his eyes, sharp even in the dark. His hands were quick but steady as he worked on her wounds. Before she could react to the sting or the chill of the antiseptic, he was done. Then Sergeant Kane was there again, her presence pulling Alice back to her feet like gravity. She offered her hand, palm up, relaxed, patient.
Can you walk?
She asked.
I think so.
Alice mumbled.
Good. Let's try it.
As Kane helped her up, she caught a flicker of metal behind Kane's left ear and another at her wrist where her sleeve had written up. Barely noticeable, but unmistakably cybernetic. Alice had seen cybernetics before. Her med school had run modules on civilian augments, but not military-grade ones. These were the kind designed for war, not convenience. Kane rose with her. One smooth, practiced motion. She was shorter than Alice, but somehow filled the space with presence alone. Uncheckable and deliberate, like a command had taken shape.
I'll lead.
Kane said.
Silas and Cal will be close by. Anything you need, you tell them.
Riven raised a brow but kept his mouth shut. Professional and all. Kane gave Alice's arm a quick squeeze, then noticed the glow on her wrist.
Don't turn your patch tab light on.
Kane said, voice calm but firm.
We don't need a beacon on our backs. Stay dark. Stay close.
And like that, she was already walking away, efficient and unbothered. Alice watched her go, then looked at Riven.
Thanks. And sorry about the stick.
He sighed.
Don't worry, princess.
He muttered under his breath.
I only get in on the job.
What?
Nothing.
He gestured forward.
Come on.